So, good evening. My name is Grayson R. Ibalyar together with my partner Noelin D. Infante, and we are here today to discuss our research paper entitled Comparative Multimodal Analysis of Bongbong Marcos and Joe Biden's Political Advertisement. So, next slide, please. So again, we are the researcher. I am Grayson R. Ibalyar together with my partner Noelin D. Infante. Next slide, please. So these are the table of contents that we are going to discuss. First is the rationale. Second is the literature review, gap of the study, research question, theoretical framework, research design, participant material selection criteria, methods of analysis, discussion of findings, and conclusion. Next slide po. So here in our rationale, it is an overview of our paper that consists the knowledge of gap. This is often the most significant part of publication. It justifies the study's purpose, novelty, and significance of science or society. So rationale, this presentation aims to explore the distinct visual and semiotic strategies used in political advertisement of Bongbong Marcos and Joe Biden. Using the visual social semiotics theory by S. and Van Leeuwen, the study examines how each candidate employs visual symbols and signs to communicate their messages and influence public perception. By comparing the advertisements, the research identify key differences in gesture, emotional cues, narrative elements, and overall visual portrayal. Bongbong Marcos advertisement often utilize traditional and nationalistic imagery aiming to evoke patriotism and continuity. So it contrasts Joe Biden's advertisement focus on inclusivity and empathy, highlighting progressive values and multiculturalism. So the findings from these studies um, offer valuable insights into the role of visual semiotics and political communication. They reveal how cultural and context factors shape the way political messages are crafted and received. Understanding these visual strategies can enhance the effectiveness of political campaigns and improve the analysis of political advertisements. So, as I said earlier, it is the an overview of our paper that consists the knowledge of the gap. So, next slide, please. So, we come now to the literature review. So, there are multiple studies that we stated here in our literature review. So, we conducted a research and find some study that are related to our topic. So, here are some study that supports our paper. First is the Yu et al. 2018 as cited by Belgrimet 2021 through the lens of multimodal discourse analysis is an advertisement of Timos Double 11. In the study, they utilized visual grammar proposed by Chris and Van Leeuwen 1966. In their study, they found out that visual signs and elements serve as a tactic to appeal the resonant with the customers. Additionally, they believe that further study should be done since culture affects the applicability and authenticity of visual grammar. So another study of Meritul Curat 2020 entitled An Analysis of Visual Social Semiotics and English Textbook. So the study analyzed the meanings of visual images and their suitability between visual and written messages in an English textbook. So using this grounded theory, it revealed three visual meanings which is representation, interactive, and composition. The analysis reveals some messages were suitable and others were not. So another study that will support our paper is the Naha Yan 2011, as cited by AMID, AMID 2020 conducted as study about advertising of Time magazine that showed textual and visual signs. So this research utilizes Kress and Van Leeuwen social semiotics approach. So in this study, the author stated that image, words, and color is the product of social practices. Additionally, signs and advertisement can form messages entitles that cohere with the environment. So another study from Angelo Larissa and Marino Francesca 2024 in multimodal analysis. So their study provides an overview to the three multimodal approaches used by applied linguists to study genres, including systematic functional multimodal discourse analysis, social semiotics multimodal analysis, and multimodal corpus analysis. So this work explores possible avenues for future research while providing readers with an understanding of the common problem and difficulties in multimodal genres. So as I've said earlier, these are the studies or related studies that supported our paper or our research. So another slide, please. So these are the research gap that we find in our research. So these are the problems that has not been answered by any of the existing studies or research within our field. So first is the study addresses the gap in understanding how visual symbols and sign in political advertisement function across different cultural and political contexts by comparing advertisements from the Philippines and the United States. The research provides insight into how cultural nuances influence the creation and interpretation of political messages. So the second research gap of the study is that while visual social semiotics has been applied in various fields, its application, especially to political advertisement semiotics, has been applied by various fields. Its applicants specifically political advertisement, especially in the part context, is less explored. This study utilizes the theory of government basic and explicit meanings in political advertisement. So thereby contributing to its theoretical development in political communication. So the third topic of study is the research identified and analyzes the distinct multimodal analysis strategies used by different level of communities. So by focusing on differences in gestures, emotional sides, narrative symbolism, and visual portrayal between compound by and then the study deals gap in understanding of different level of your visual symbolism. So in the research, in the log of the study, it is the problem that need and not being answered by any of the existing studies or research in our field. So next slide. So these are our research questions. So in this study, the researchers will investigate the two political advertisement from different presidential candidates. So their research will identify their preference, visual symbols, and sign evident in the advertisement. Specifically, it's set the answer to the following research questions. So the first, research question is what are the various visual symbols and signs present in Hong and those advertisement and that their explicit and implicit meaning. So the second research question is what are the differences between Bongbong Marcos and Joe's utilization of multiple communication strategies and symbolic representation in this advertisement. So this research question will tackle or answer in our full manuscript. So next slide. So we come now to to theoretical framework. So in this study, the advertisement of Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos and Joe Biden were analyzed using a multimodal critical discourse analysis or the MCDA approach based on Chris and Van Leeuwen visual social semiotic theory. So the visual social semiotic theory allowed the researcher to thoroughly examine the possible messages contained in the visual of two advertisements. So additionally, it assisted the researcher in distinguishing between the various messages represented by various symbols and elements representation in a visual. So the visual social semiotics theory is proposed by Gander, Kress, and Theo Van Leeuwen. Social semiotics analysis was defined by Kress, and Van Leeuwen and included compositional meaning, interactive meaning, and presentational meaning. So furthermore, narrative representation and conceptual patterns are the two types of patterns that are present in representational meaning. So classification, analytical, and symbolic structure are the three types of structure that are used in the idea pattern by Binho, Oksana, Zelenko, Fenendore Boys in 2019. So in this way, the um, we focus on defining the concept of compositional meaning to understand the significance of being mindful of the messages that a visual may be trying to convey through its symbols. So, through the use of visual social semiotics theory, it gives highlight to better understand the rhetorical meaning making potential of still visual in relationship to text, provide with techniques to analyze those visual and contributes ability to effectively discuss the visual of the advertisement. So that's the theoretical framework. So to further discuss the other parts of our study or our paper, may I call on Noe? Thank you.
So, we come now to the research design. The analysis of this study will be based on the framework of Kress and Van Leeuwen's Visual Social Semiotics, 1996. In their framework, they proposed three metafunction representational, interactive, and compositional metafunction that aid the researchers to craft the analysis. The three metafunction focuses on how the visual elements represent the world. So, our studies analysis will use Chris and Van Leeuwen's Visual Social Semiotics framework from 1996. So this framework includes three main functions: the representational, interactive, and compositional. So these functions help us to understand how visual elements depict the world around us. The representational function focuses on what is shown. The interactive function looks at how viewers engage with the image, and the compositional function examines how different elements are arranged to create a meaning. So, participant material selection. So, two political advertisements are chosen for the subject of the analysis. The researchers utilized the social media platform YouTube to gather the necessary information and the whole video of the advertisements. Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. was chosen since he won as the President of the Philippines in May of 2022, shocking the analysts and the scholars of the Philippine politics. On the other hand, Joseph Robinette Joe Biden Jr., due to the fact that his win against Donald Trump was considered lucky. So their victory spread throughout the nation and served as an area of discussion for scholars and political analysts around the globe. So for this analysis, we choose two political advertisements focusing on how they are presented on YouTube. We selected Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos, who is the current president of the Philippines, and Joseph Robinette Joe Biden, that is the current president of the US. So, Marcos win shocked analysts and scholars of the Philippines, while Biden is have an unexpected win um, with Donald Trump. So these victories made both figures and their campaigns an interesting subject for a deeper analysis. So that's why we choose these two political candidates. So, methods of analysis. So, this study utilizes qualitative methods to analyze Bongbong Marcos and Joe Biden's political advertisements. It involves Press and Van Leeuwen's visual social semiotics framework. So, this framework made the scrutinization of the advertisement profound, and the study will only focus on the analysis of visual elements, finding the differences in both campaigns. So, this study will dig into Bongbong Marcos and Joe Biden's political advertisement using the qualitative method, diving deep into the visuals the campaign employ. So we're using Chris and Van Leeuwen's visual social semiotics framework to really understand what these ads are saying visually. By focusing solely on the visual elements, we aim to uncover the nuances and disparities between the two campaigns. It's like examining the colors, the images, and the layout of each advertisement to see how they convey their message differently. So, discussion and findings. So, first is Joe Biden's advertisement. So, in figure one, it's focused on Biden's face, enhancing his presence and approachability. So his direct gaze into the camera suggests engagement and confidence, while the blurred background, including the White House and the American flag, underscores his patriotism and leadership. So the use of neutral colors in the background contrasted with Biden's darker attire highlights his control and authority. So in figure two, Biden in a different shot. Biden is shown interacting with subordinates and supporters, symbolizing his leadership and approval of American people. So the varied camera angle suggests forward thinking and future orientation, reinforced by textual elements highlighting his achievements such as combating climate change and leading through the COVID-19 crisis. So figure 4 showcase Biden's connection with the diverse group, depicting him interacting with a young girl, which signifies his genuine engagement with people of all ages and backgrounds. So the candid nature of this shot enhances his image as an authentic and approachable leader. So the figure 5, it positions Biden as a balanced and steady leader with visual elements like the American flag motif in his name, emphasizing his national commitment. The prominence of his surname in bold text reinforces his candidacy for a high position, while his posture at the podium symbolizes his readiness to serve. So, let's come now to Bongbong Marcos's advertisement. So, here in figure 1, Bongbong Marcos and the background of the windmill. So, Marcos' advertisement uses symbolic imagery and narrative elements to convey messages of hope and renewal. And figure 1, Marcos' central position and direct gaze into the camera projects sincerity and focus. So the windmill he holds symbolizes the hope and renewal, setting the tone for the advertisement. In figure 2, it introduces a child holding a windmill, symbolizing the transfer of hope and a brighter future. So the child's sideways glance towards Marcos suggests a hope, anticipation of positive change with colors representing new beginnings and responsibility. So in figure 3, a man in a rice field looking towards the windmill conveys that hope and progress are attainable regardless of one's status. So the visual of the man welcoming the windmill reinforces Marcos' message of collective upliftment. So the figure 4 depicts a student focused on her studies, aligning with Marcos' message about the importance of hard work and perseverance. So the dim lightning in the background signifies emergence of hope through diligence and effort. And the final scene in figure 5 presents Marcos with the hand over his chest, symbolizing integrity and dedication. The acronym BBM in bold colors symbolizes strength, trust, and national pride, while the smoky background effect hints at the sacrifices made for the country's future. So, conclusion. This analysis conducted through the framework of Press and Van Leeuwen's visual social semiotics theory reveals how Bongbong Marcos and Joe Biden employ distinct multimodal strategies in their political advertisements to convey their campaign messages. So, Bongbong Marcos's advertisements leverage nostalgic imagery in bright colors such as sun rays and windmills to invoke a sense of familiarity and hope for a brighter future. His portrayal and um, emphasizes unity and patriotism, aiming to inspire the Filipino people with a vision of collective progress. Conversely, Joe Biden's advertisements focus on inclusivity, empathy, and forward-looking vision. Through the use of semiotic elements and nonverbal cues, Biden's campaign emphasizes his leadership qualities and commitment to American values. Additionally, Biden's advertisement incorporate elements of critique against his opponents, utilizing negative signs to contrast his vision with theirs. So both candidates effectively use visual elements and signs to create compelling campaign that narratives that resonate with their respective audiences. By strategically employing these multimodal modes of communication, they articulate their message in ways that text alone cannot achieve. The careful integration of visual semiotics in their advertisements enhances their political visions and connects deeply with voters, demonstrating the power of visual communication and political campaigns. So that's all. Thank you.